Today at Yeti Enlarge, a commercial disaster. A satirical look at contemporary sensitivities through some recent commercials.
Hi, and welcome to Yeti at Large. This is a channel focused on making the most out of what you have, no matter where you're at. Thanks for tuning in and helping out.
So one of the things many of us noticed over the last couple of years, and the time of recording of this is early 23, is the absence of a lot of output from entertainment media. A lot of our A-list movie stars have been missing. Very few movies. Nobody was going to movies. Very few programs that were new. A real vacuum. And when that happened, it was noticeable. And now that it's starting to reemerge again, the reappearance of entertainment media and A-listers is very noticeable. I couldn't help but recently notice a obvious surge of commercials featuring A-list type Hollywood actors. Picking on just a few, Melissa McCarthy, Kevin Bacon, Alicia Silverstone, John Travolta. I'm not going to mention athletes, so you guys get a pass. Venus, Gronk, Shaq, you all get a pass there. But these commercials have come up recently, and they're hawking everything from vacation rentals to cell phone plans to electric cars, and the like. And it makes me wonder, with a background in journalism and media, is this an attempt to reintroduce and get those clicks and those likes and those views and start to re-energize the machine of entertainment? Or is it possibly a way to fulfill contractual obligations that may be outstanding, that they got a pass over the last couple of years because no one was able to produce? You never know. It's interesting when you always see that one-off movie from an A-lister or a one-off album or song from a musician that realizes there was a contractual obligation at play. I don't know, that's just a question. And the first thing that I was left with, and when it comes to media, I believe it was P.T. Barnum that said there's no such thing as bad press. So good, the bad, the ugly, you're getting views, you're getting clicks, there's something to be said for that. And the other thing was, Oscar Wilde once said that life imitates art far more often than art imitates life. And I believe he was very accurate in the sentiment that media, TV, movies, and even commercials will drive people and create concepts and trends that then people will follow. The entry to the film, Aris Gratis Aris, I've always felt that that was kind of semi-backwards. So in that spirit, looking at commercials, I feel bad for some of these actors. I know I'm a little fish in a little pond here, and these people are unbelievably more iconic. But man, I think I'd hold my fire and hold back from selling cell phone plans and electric cars, considering the legendary status and some of the iconic, timeless media productions I've been involved in, whether they're cinematic, stage, television, or social. Some of these people are indelible in our memories and our cultural experiences. And what a shame to see them, in my words, not theirs, stoop to having to schlep a four-door sedan. But that being said, we can move past that. Looking at the commercials, though, I was horrified, and I'm going to use that word deliberately, at a commercial I saw recently from Ocean Spray. And I'll let the commercial speak for itself, and then we'll talk a little bit after that. Let's go out to the other room and watch the commercial together on the tube. Traditionally, I'm not in the habit of playing clips, but let's watch this together and we'll unpack it afterwards.
It's going to space.
Mom, look, a clown.
Ocean Spray can make a juice drink with only 1 gram of sugar and still keep home with that powerful flavor. Then I can do anything. I can overcome my fear of clouds.
Well, hello there.
What will you do with all that power?
20 plus million views. So I realize I'm swimming against the current here on my observations of this. That one channel had over 20 million views on that commercial. Only 3,400 subscribers. thousands of comments, and I found that commercial on multiple other channels. The comments almost universally thought it was very funny, very entertaining. They really credited the mom for mustering the quality of the scream, and the general overview was that people found it to be funny and entertaining. There were a few sprinkled comments where people talking about exactly what I'm about to bring up, and I don't mean to be a pity party bah humbug, but let's look at it from a couple of other perspectives. First, marketing claims, advertising claims, and as a chef. Now, she's holding a 64-ounce bottle of this, which in the commercial then indicates to the viewer that that is a single service item. There's very small font down at the bottom that says per serving, but doesn't really clarify that. I get the big beautiful bottle and she's guzzling the juice because she wants a lot of it and it's that delicious. But accuracy and truth in advertising, you got to be careful. So their claim that it has 5 calories per serving, 8 servings per container, she's actually advertising 40 calories per serving. Now, if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you'll know that I'm not a fan of highly refined sugars or sugar substitutes, highly refined salts, sodium, or sodium substitutes, highly refined flour, and or food coloring, and especially in different combinations. So diet drinks are particularly suspect to me as a chef and someone who prefers honey or pure cane sugar as my sweetener. Reading the ingredients label, I see filtered water, number 1 ingredient, cranberry juice, water, cranberry juice concentrate, all great stuff, natural flavors. Now, I'm not speculating and I might be wrong, but a lot of times those natural flavors are acid from lemons and other citric acid, things like that to really get it to pop. I personally cook with citric acid and I love it. I think it's a great ingredient. Pectin. Pectin's what makes jelly thick. That by putting pectin in that drink, it gives it le nappage. It sticks to the tongue a little bit more full, rich mouthfeel. Sound like a wine snob at that point, but that's clearly what that's for. Citric acid is specifically listed, so in those natural flavors, there could be other elements, pear juice, apple juice, concentrates, and things like that. Fumaric acid, which is a stabilizer and a color protector. Sodium citrate, another preservative and stabilizer. Ascorbic acid, very commonly found in a lot of beverages, by the way. And that's the ascorbic acid is where most of your vitamin C's are going to come from. I don't have a problem with that. But then the next 2 ingredients, I'm going to let Google Translate pronounce them so that it's not me.
Sucralose, acesulfame potassium.
Acesulfame potassium. That's how Google pronounced it, not me. And then the very last ingredient is red number 40, an artificial color. So 2 artificial sweeteners and an artificial color, and then a little bit of sodium citrate to balance those flavor profiles out and work as a preservative and a protective. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not making any claims or statements, so don't leave comments down below that what I'm saying is unhinged. I'm only making observations of what is commonly found surrounding these 2 artificial sweeteners.
Sucralose, acesulfame potassium.
And when you do a brief search on both of those, one of the first things that come up is that studies and doctors and nutritionists and dietitians have asked the questions about the effects of these artificial sweeteners on metabolism, as specifically as a metabolism inhibitor. Now, I don't know if these are proven, false, refuted. I don't know where those claims stand, but they are out there. It's also worth noting that there are thousands of beverages on the market globally that contain many of these products, and many people consume them several times a week, sometimes many times a day, with minimal problems, minimal health risks, minimal side effects. So balance this and take it with a grain of salt. But what I am telling you is what I'll consume, and this isn't the kind of stuff that I'm interested in consuming. So you've got a diet drink that's being misrepresented by the portion size. It's not as healthy as it's saying, and it could actually, according to many of these studies, lead to weight gain because of metabolism slowing it down. The next thing I want to do is talk about a transition, though, that I remember in the early 2000s and into the teens. There were many behavioral specialists that were looking at the sudden explosion of ADHD and OCD and other behavioral related maladies, especially in children, in school. And there were questions surrounding the impact of highly refined sugars and sugar substitutes, sweeteners, salts, flours, and food colorings and the combinations thereof. There were a lot of studies done on that and a lot of discussions about the interactions of therapies, including medications, with diet. So there's, I see that and I look at her drinking that diet beverage with those questionable ingredients, and it goes to her behavior. Now, in the commercial, to be fair to Ocean Spray, it was meant to be entertaining and funny and tongue-in-cheek, even possibly. I didn't take it that way. I viewed her actions as a unprovoked, aggravated assault on an unsuspecting individual. The clown was there performing, so in a sense, he has standing in the area, and she just came walking through. In Arizona, what she did was an aggravated assault, 13-1204.A, and then a few down. Now, being in public safety like I was for many years, we were often taught to avoid strikes and blows or holds in this general area. A lot to be said about that in recent high-profile cases. And to deliver a strike or blow anywhere into this area can be lethal. Very lethal. Speak with anybody who's well trained in any of the martial arts or Krav Maga or any of those very offensive striking arts, and they'll tell you very dangerous striking in that area. She delivered 3 blows directly to this area and dropped that poor clown. Now, I don't live in a vacuum or under a rock. I know that scary clowns are a thing and people have a lot of fun with it, and I get where they were coming with this. But just for a moment, picture, if you will, that those 2 actors had their roles reversed. And you take that person drinking the beverage and you put him in the clown suit and take the clown on the other way. What do you think the reaction would be in a contemporary sensitivity? I gather it would be much different. I don't know if that's fair or not, but it's an observation of current cultural norms, if you will. I don't like promoting violence in a juice drink beverage, especially in the presence of children. And you notice all the bystanders just stood there and watched. Nobody, it was only a second or two, so maybe I'm being a little over specific, but nobody moved to render aid to this poor guy. And anytime I was in a situation in public safety where somebody, regardless of the mechanism of injury, needed aid, we rendered aid as quick, as safely, and feasibly possible. So keep that in mind. Anyway, bah humbug. I don't drink diet juice drinks. If I'm going to drink a juice drink, I'd rather drink a full, whole drink. I love Ocean Spray dried cranberries and frozen cranberries. I use them prolifically in my cooking. If I'm going to make a cranberry drink, which I love, one of my favorites is to take pure cranberry juice. No sugar added, no diet stuff, none of that. Not a cocktail, juice cocktail. You can't drink that stuff straight. Boy, your face will cave in from the pucker power. But put a couple of shots of that in a club soda and stevia or a teaspoon of honey, and you have a phenomenal juice cocktail that you make at home. I hope I haven't been too much of a pity party. I know people were probably just trying to have fun. But it's time to take a step back and look at things and realize that filter and the influence of media on every level, especially knowing that juice drinks are targeted not only at the health-conscious adults, but a lot of children. Thank you so much for joining us on Yeti at Large. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll try to put in a couple of links to some of the things I cited here to let you find some of those quotes, those statutes, and studies.